I'm here to dampen the mood and talk about how the world is going at the moment and how we can do something about it. Kind of the only thing that we can do, or that I can do in the last little while. So, I'm Carnelian, I live in Berlin, and I guess cut my tits off and moved there 10 years ago to start life over. And since then, I decided, I wasn't just going to be lonely. So I've done a lot of things, and I mostly started a community. And the community that I started is a community mostly made up of neurodivergent queers, and we make a lot of LARPs. We just started this about 3 years ago when I had my 30th birthday, and I took a joke far too seriously about my last name being Carnelian King and how I needed a castle. So that was Burning Castle, and we keep doing it. We did it the next year, and then last year I had something go really badly. My brother died of a drug overdose, so I decided to deal with my grief, not to do less, but to do more. So I'm about to show you all of the LARPs that we just did. I'm going to go through them pretty fast because that's actually still not the focus of my talk. I'm going to talk to you about how we built the community, but I want to show you what we made, and I'd love it if at the end you could give an awesome round of applause because, like earlier, this shows hundreds and hundreds of hours of volunteer work because I run Burn LARPs, and Burn LARPs are LARPs where everybody who comes participates. So the first one was the Burning Castle, and the LARPs that we make the themes are always about what the community needs to grow from. And the beginning, it was about making a game about it being our responsibility not to let the world harden us. It's about your inner child and shadow self, and it was honestly really transformative. The first one was incredible. The second one is it was a little bit about meeting new cultures because it was about what we should do with our monsters, the parts about ourselves that we don't like. The next, this was last year, it was the biggest one yet. It was about what the cost of understanding someone is and like the cost of staying sane. Also, for context, we run these LARPs in castles, and they're usually around 50 to 75 people, and they're over the course of 4 days, just for context. This one was interesting. This was the first one-night LARP. It was called the Mischief Society Ball, and it should be fun to die, and you should feel like you're getting away with something. This was a game that we did for Valentine's Day, and it was for trying to get new people to play in Berlin in a way that was a little bit more accessible. So that was a one-night LARP. And this one was one only for our community, which we wanted to try to organize to see if we could organize something without having to write new characters. And the theme was worship through revelry. They were worshiping the tentacle god because I was a little bit self-indulgent, loving octopuses far too much. And the last one that we did was the University of Sonder, and it was a LARP that would give people the opportunity to feel like they could resist. It was a LARP where it was very strong oppression themes, and we wrote in none of the characters that they were supposed to be part of the revolution, but we oppressed them just enough that they did. And they were actually able to make meaningful change, and that meant a lot. So, what's the side effects of running LARPs nonstop for the last year? Using LARPs as a coping mechanism as a single person has been damaging in ways that I didn't expect. And one of the ways was the effects of burnout affect the community around you. And when you want to get people to volunteer, if it seems like you are doing too much, it's hard for them to also feel like they can contribute. It was also really hard for us to distribute responsibility at the beginning because we didn't understand proper systems of explaining what it meant to take on a lead role. And we didn't really have time to implement feedback because we were running a LARP every 3 months, so we didn't have so much time to stop. But why? Why would we do this? Why would we spend all of our time making games like this? Because for us, LARP is a form of resistance. It's what we do to make a space that is safe in a world that doesn't love us, especially queer and trans people, because that's mostly our community. We are also a lot of neurodivergent people, so we have fidget toys in our off-game room, which sounds like a small thing, but it's really a big thing. And we're constantly iterating on how we can make this work better for people. And it didn't work for many times. The next slide is the amount of times I failed before it worked. Yeah, I came to Knutbook 10 years ago, and I tried to make this community 3 times before it worked. And I'd love to talk to you about the process of why it worked now. Why is it functional? We first began it as an event. I did this event for my own motivations. It needed a little bit of personal motivation so that I could care about it enough to make it happen. After that, we transitioned into a community, partially by moving to Discord. It took having very good Discord mods to actually have a community, which is a weirdly specific thing, but if we didn't have that, we wouldn't be meeting most weekends to hang out. And then the last one is regular meetups. This is just important if you're not running a LARP, that you can just meet and talk and hang out. They can be crafternoons, they can be whatever. Some of them can be online, but ours are in person. Every first Wednesday of the month, we meet in this board game cafe called Tales Untold, and we just chat. It's important that we're not doing LARPs there, that we're just hanging out. This means that things that come up that might have become a big issue if we hadn't seen each other can get worked out more easily. What do we need to make a community work, though? One of the things that we really needed to do is we had a vision weekend, and at the vision weekend, we talked about our shared values. I would have loved to have put our mission statement up here, but it isn't. We are making a community that, that cares about mutual aid. I'll talk a little bit more about this when we get to Discord tips, but it's important for you to have a variety of skills. Because you need a lot of things to make a community work. And when you're also building a community, how you run a LARP needs to be documented in clear processes. At first, I thought I could do way more myself than I can actually do. I should have had a slide like the one before that had all of these things that I did instead of giving it to other people. You actually have to find people that you trust and delegate things to them, even though it will take more effort to do this in the front end. Expectation calibration and delegation is really important as well. Mostly it's about being clear what you're giving and that you're not giving an experience, you're giving an opportunity for coming together. But what do you get from this when you're building a community? You get shared skills, the opportunity to try something new. You get mutual aid, the opportunity for self-expression, and of course, play. As adults, we don't have enough spaces for that, and we need that for our nervous system to relax. Here's a few very specific things we do on our Discord, which I just want to give you. They're great. It's a couple channels. One of them is Glimmers. I'm so excited when I see somebody post this delicious breakfast that they had, or that they got a diploma, or Glimmers is the channel where you post things that you're excited about. The opposite of that is the whining corner. This is where our community can complain about stuff that's going wrong. We also have one called Time Bank, where people can post, hey, I really need help finding a therapist, or hey, I really need help with this. If you don't have enough bandwidth, you can post there, and maybe someone will help you. We are differently resourced. Many of us are underemployed, so this is helpful because not all of us are, and some of us can help. I also want to say casting a wide net and following a common thread is really important. That's why I go to a lot of conventions, because I'm the extrovert. This is where we find more people to bring in. I can also mention that we're having an event. If you want to be a part of this community, you can. It's called Burning Castle. It's in November. And yeah, if you want, I can tell you more about that in person. But otherwise, just thank you for being here, being generous with your curiosity. And good luck gathering your people and collaborating.